Breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles are counting down the hours until the start of the new season, and man, I'm really excited too. Today I want to talk about a name that's been getting a lot of attention behind the scenes with the Eagles, and I also think he's going to bring us a lot of excitement. The Eagles deserve to make it back to the Super Bowl, and for that to happen, it's going to take some serious hard work. I'm about to tell you all the details, but first make sure you've already hit that like button. But only do that if you want to see the Eagles back in the Super Bowl. If possible, right. Go Eagles! I believe in the Super Bowl. Now let's get straight to the point, because the Eagles made another quiet move that deserves attention. Philadelphia officially signed rookie tight end Eli Stowers, and while at first this might seem like just another routine post-draft signing, there's much more behind this story. The organization selected Stowers with the 54th overall pick and clearly sees him as an important long-term piece. According to released reports, the Eagles view him as a potential future replacement for Dallas Goedert. And when you learn about this player's journey to get here, everything becomes even more fascinating. Many fans probably don't know that Eli Stowers was originally a highly regarded and promising quarterback in high school. And he wasn't just a decent recruit. He was a 4-star quarterback and ranked among the best in his class coming out of Denton-Guyer High School in Texas. He helped lead one of Texas's top football programs deep into the playoffs, and anyone who follows high school football knows that surviving Texas football is no easy task. Initially, he committed to Texas A&M as a quarterback, but things changed. His path shifted. Instead of fading away after things did not work out at quarterback, he adapted. He reinvented himself. That eventually led him to transition to tight end, first at New Mexico State and later at Vanderbilt.
And this is where the story starts becoming extremely interesting for Eagles fans. At Vanderbilt, Stowers had somebody helping him along the way that Eagles fans know very well, Jordan Matthews. Matthews, a former Eagle himself, had also gone through a position transition later in his football journey. He reportedly took Stowers under his wing and helped guide him. Think about that for a second. You have a former Eagle helping mentor a future Eagle. The connection is there. The development path is there. The transition experience is there. Now take a look at what Stowers physically brings to the table. He stands at 6'3" and weighs 239 pounds. But what really jumps off the page is his athletic profile. He ran a 4.51 40-yard dash. That is wide receiver type movement for someone lining up at tight end. He also has nearly an 80-inch wingspan and posted a remarkable 45-inch vertical jump. That combination gives him an enormous catch radius. He can attack seams. He can elevate. He can make contested catches. And according to the discussion in the transcript, some teams actually viewed him more as a receiver than a traditional tight end because of his movement skills. That creates a lot of possibilities. Philadelphia has traditionally loved versatile offensive pieces. They love players capable of creating mismatches. And in modern football, the old-school tight end mold is changing. Teams are no longer simply searching for giant blockers. They want athletes. They want matchup problems. They want players' defenses struggle to classify, and Stowers may fit exactly into that category. Then there's another detail Eagles fans should not ignore. He won the Mackey Award, which goes to college football's best tight end. That award has been won by major names entering the NFL. That does not automatically guarantee future success, but it absolutely tells you that Philadelphia did not just draft another depth player. They targeted somebody with real upside. And if this offensive system creates opportunities for two tight end formations, as discussed in the report, Stowers could potentially see opportunities earlier than many people expect. Now, while fans were processing that move, another storyline quietly emerged. Did the Eagles just draft Lane Johnson's eventual replacement? Because when Philadelphia selected offensive tackle Marquille Bell with the 68th pick, that raised some eyebrows. This was not a late-round project selection. This was a top 70 investment, and whenever Howie Roseman spends significant draft capital on offensive linemen, fans pay attention. Because historically, the Eagles think long-term better than almost anybody in football. They prepare years before problems arrive. Lane Johnson remains one of the greatest right tackles in franchise history, and arguably one of the best right tackles the NFL has ever seen. But eventually, every team faces reality. Nobody plays forever. And perhaps Philadelphia is beginning preparations now. Bell reportedly played left tackle at Miami. But Eagles fans know position flexibility matters. Lane Johnson himself played left tackle in college before eventually becoming an elite right tackle. Could Bell follow a similar developmental path? The physical profile certainly gets attention. He stands 6'6", weighs just under 350 pounds, has over 36-inch arms, and ran a 5.36 40. That is a massive human being. Absolutely massive. And his production was impressive too. He reportedly allowed 0 sacks and only 1 quarterback hit while surrendering 15 pressures. Again, nobody is saying Bell replaces Lane Johnson tomorrow. Not even close. But if Philadelphia sees developmental upside there, that becomes another fascinating long-term storyline. Now here comes the story that may divide Eagles fans. The possibility of a Mekhi-Becton reunion. ESPN reportedly connected Becton back to Philadelphia as a logical fit among remaining free agents. And immediately, Eagles fans probably had mixed reactions, because Becton's Philadelphia story was one of the more unexpected success stories in recent memory. When he arrived, expectations were not particularly high. He had injury issues. Questions followed him. People wondered if his NFL career was slipping away. Then Jeff Stoutland and Nick Sirianni tried something unexpected. Move him to guard, and suddenly everything changed. That experiment worked. Becton revitalized his career. Philadelphia discovered something, and during that 2024 season, he reportedly became a major contributor along an offense that helped Saquon Barkley have historic success.